I did one of these today.
Call to order the meeting on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Jenny.
Mayor Vogel,
Here.
council members Mulebauer,
Here.
Faunus,
Here.
Udvig,
Here.
Robinson,
Here.
On to approval agenda. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Udvig. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Mulebauer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Robinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Mulebauer. Any discussion or anybody want to pull anything or talk about anything in there? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting open to the public. Derek.
Got 7 copies, so city administrator, 5 council members and city attorney, please. Thank you, Mayor Vogel. Members of the council, my name is Derek Lind. I actually live in Ramsey, part of the ACIT, Anoka County Election and Integrity Group. We've been at this now, myself, I'm coming up on 4 years here in March. I saw 2 weeks ago, you guys were discussing the post-election review, so I was hoping I could just come up here briefly and go through a few things. I promise I'll be brief. Most of this paper information you can take home and read on your own time. I just wanted to get it into your hands. If you could follow along with me page by page. On the first page there, Rasmussen poll, September 2025, nearly 2/3 or 64% of the country doesn't trust machine tabulators right now. So there are concerns throughout the country about that. If you could go to the second page, and focus on the yellow line there. That's how St. Francis votes. The point of me showing you that is I got a feeling that your constituents are also concerned about those machine tabulators. I think they're probably consistent with that first page that I gave you. Next page, third page. One of the questions asked last week was how many cities had done this? Here's a list of the 7 cities when they did it, and then what it looked like. They have the number of precincts and how many precincts they wanted to count. It's kind of a total there. At the very bottom, they've got the cities of Oak Grove and Ramsey. They were doing stuff with the poll pads. I'm not here to talk about poll pads. I'm here to talk about post-election review. If you could go to the next page, please. This one has a kind of a blue header. This is the Nelson Gamache race. One of the questions raised 2 weeks ago is, are these machine tabulators accurate? And this race actually was very close. I think it was settled by, is it 48 votes? And they did a recount, and in that recount, they found 26 votes. So this is an example of the votes changing. What happened here was oftentimes somebody will fill in the oval for Nelson and also write in the name. Machine won't count it. Machine sees that as an error, counts that as 0. So you don't pick that up unless you do a hand count. And that's why there was, if you look at the right-hand side of the page, Nelson picked up 21 votes and Gamache also picked up 5. They both picked up votes, probably overvotes. That's probably what happened. So that kind of speaks to the accuracy of the machines. It's not fraud. It's just there's a kind of a glitch with the machines or an issue. Next page should be stapled together, 2 pages. This is important, so I want to make sure everybody understands this. This post-election review idea was not something we invented. It started up in Big Lake. And this actually took place in 2022. They really did a post-election review. And they were going to do it again in 2024. The problem is we stole their idea or copied their idea, brought it to Anoka County, spread it to 7 cities. And that's when the Secretary of State said, we got to stop this. We don't want this. So I'm going to let you read this on your own time, but this is correspondence proving that that really happened. And in that video I sent out, I showed you pictures of the actual post-election review. Next page is a letter from the Secretary of State. We'll spend a second on this, and then you can look at it too on your own time. He took an entire page to explain to you why you can't count your votes. He actually sent this to Big Lake, but it applied to the other 7 cities too. And you have to decide if you're comfortable with that explanation. In the very end, he said, it is our opinion that because it's not random, you shouldn't be allowed to count your own votes unless you're selected randomly in a post-election review. I have an issue with that. That's up to you guys. I'm not here to persuade you. I'm just bringing you information. And then the last page, there were some questions about what exactly is a post-election review. I think somebody said they go all the way down the ballot. They don't go all the way down the ballot. They're only supposed to, Anoka County has,
Top 2, isn't it?
yeah, 128 precincts. Anoka County is supposed to sample 4. And then they only check the top 2 races. They will never check your races unless you have a recount and it's close. So nobody checks your level of race or anything higher than that. Now, what Anoka County did is they expanded it to the top 3. But then they got mad at us, aced it, and threatened to go back to 2. Right now, I think they're still doing 3. And then they also expanded the cities. They took it from 4 up to 8. So that's proof that they could do more. But that's kind of the history of where we're at with this. Originally, I was going to just drop this off and walk out the door, but I think I'm going to stick around for your discussion. I think because some questions may come up. I know you guys might not have been expecting me, but do you have any questions right now for me?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll let you read this on your own time. I'm just going to sit there, and if any questions come up, let me know.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing nobody else, we'll move on to old business, Minnesota State Flag. Resolution 2026-04. And I think we kind of had a consensus, so this is just kind of formalized it from the last meeting, so this is formalizing it, so. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2026-04 in opposition to any display of the Minnesota state flag?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Robinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Fahnas. Any discussions?
I just have one question.
Sure.
Because to me, this reads that we're opposing flying them as, is there language that
It's-
says,
The new official flag you're opposing.
that's fine, but
it's
this
weird.
doesn't say that. It says to display the Minnesota state flag. That to
It
me
is
is a
weird
little
wording.
confusing.
Mayor and Council,
It
so
was-
this was a duplicate of what has been put in place in practice already.
Okay,
That is how the other jurisdictions have been wording it. So-
okay, that's fine. To me, if I looked at that, I would read that we're saying we're not gonna fly the state flag, period. So that's just my
It's a good observation.
consensus on that. So.
What this really means is we want to fly the 1957 Minnesota state flag.
Correct, Mayor and Council, within the language of the resolution, it goes into, where we're basically addressing the 2023, and we are going back to the 1957, and just why, so.
And then my only other question is council okay with? I mean, we're gonna have to keep replacing them and we may have to pay a little bit more for flags that aren't. So I just, again, it's just things that we have to consider. We're talking about being stewards of our taxpayers' money, that it goes all the way down, no matter what it is. So, I mean, clearly you have to replace a normal state flag. That happens, but when we're going to a flag that's no longer recognized by the state as our state flag, there may be additional costs. So I just want to bring that up. Again, I don't have a problem with it. It's just things that we need to be thinking about.
Last time we talked, Paul, you were gonna find out how many flags.
Yeah, we have enough now. That's not the problem. The
Right.
problem is that they wear out.
Right.
And as they wear out, the longer it goes, that it's no longer recognized as our state flag, it may be harder to come by. That's all I'm saying. So I just wanted to point that out. Again, I don't
Okay.
have a problem with it. It's just when we're talking about money all the time, this is, again, one of those things, so.
Little peripheral for you on that. I did just a little bit of research on it, and at least right now, flag companies are more than happy to print any flag from any state, from any design you want to print it, and it's really
Okay, that's good.
not extra cost, so.
Just typically as things become,
At
as
some point
things
in time,
change,
maybe, right.
yeah, so
Thank you.
just something to think about.
Anybody else?
I wouldn't
I'm
mind
gonna
seeing the 1858 flag, but
Yeah, it's
we
fine.
have one,
I-
the 1953 in stock, so.
I know, I looked them up today. That one was really cool.
And
Yeah.
there's no extra cost, which is the biggest thing at this time, given we have them. So just that note for the taxpayers.
Anything else, Joe?
Nope.
Amy, anything else?
No.
Kevin?
I'm gonna start a Go Flag Me Fund page and we'll get taken care of, so, no, I'm all for it.
Thank you. Sarah?
Nope, I don't have
Okay.
anything else.
So all those in favor signify for resolution 2026-04, which is in opposition to any display of the Minnesota state flag, which technically is, we're going to be returning to the old Minnesota state flag. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution passes on to the Public Works Contract Agreement for 2026-27. Is that Kate, you?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, before you tonight is the tentative agreement between the city and the local 49 representatives. This was negotiated throughout the 2025 calendar year, and it is for a 2-year contract for 26 and 27. With that, Dave or I are happy to answer any questions.
Joe?
I don't have any questions other than it's a dumb one. Why do we go from Roman numerals to numbers?
Mayor and Council, with this contract, we did a lot of cleanup.
Yeah,
So it's been forwarded
I'm
and
just curious.
MOUs and we're working to clean it up. So,
But it looks like
No.
everything's been brought up to date otherwise, so.
yes.
That's all I have.
And
Go
Mayor
ahead.
and Council, it was requested that we switch over to that, and we said, okay, that's certainly okay.
Is it algebra? They don't like letters.
Amy?
I don't know anything.
Sarah?
I don't have any questions.
Kevin?
Nothing here. I appreciate the work that Dave and Kate did.
Mhm.
I would concur. I know it was a little longer haul, but I'm glad we could all get to a agreement point. So looking for a motion to approve resolution 2026-05, approving a tentative agreement between the city of St. Francis and the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 49, representing the Public Works Bargaining Unit for the calendar years 2026 and 2027.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Mulebauer. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Fondis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Contracts agreed to. Last thing under old business here is the Anoka County post-election review. So I think you all got the letter that Kate put together here and talked about, so I don't know what discussion. Feel free, start with Kevin. Any discussion on that, Kevin?
Nothing. I think it's worthwhile and I'm glad we're doing it. That's all.
Thank you, Sarah.
Oh, I don't have any further discussion.
Okay. Amy,
Me either.
Joe?
No questions. I think it's been discussed before and we touched base on it. It's a start.
I would agree. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. What I want to do is send this letter with our signatures to them, and I'll reach out to the election Pam LeBlanc at a couple weeks, give her a couple weeks to look it over and want to see their response. Because at some point in time, I think this may go to have to go to a resolution. But what I want to give the county an opportunity to respond. And because the county has indicated that they have some people from the county have indicated they have some of the same concerns. Well, if they're going to act as our agent, if they're saying that they're in charge of elections, I want to see an effort on their behalf to appeal to the state, Secretary of State, to change what we're asking for. So I think we'll start with this letter and stay tuned is what I would have to say. So
Do have a quick question for Dave maybe, or I'm wondering if they're gonna respond at all, but what's a reasonable amount of time to wait for? Typically.
it was on, Dave. You turned it off.
Mayor and council, I would give them about 30 days.
Okay.
So that, and after that, mayor and council, you could take, further action or further discussion, as appropriate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. So at this point in time, I don't think we need to pass anything. We just need to sign it. Am I correct in this? Okay,
Need to vote on anything to?
No.
want or don't want,
I don't
right?
believe so.
Mayor and council, this is just a letter. It's being sent on behalf of council's direction. It is not a formal resolution. So if you want to sign, certainly can, and that will be forwarded onto the county.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, on to meeting open to the public again. Derek, do you wish to talk again real quick?
Real quick. I forgot to mention when I was up here, you have all these things that you want to say. It's my opinion that you absolutely should pass a resolution. I understand you're not going to do it tonight. This is the start, but I think that's where we're going to get to. They're probably not going to honor it. That's going to be with the canvas board that happens in August. But what you're doing is you're sending a message. It's a strong message that you're joining those other 7 cities. Now there's 8 and we're not done. I don't know if we're going to get more, but you're adding one. And I think you guys would have been there 2 years ago. I know you had some turnover in the council and stuff like that. So I think it's what your people want. So that's all I had. Again, thanks for your time. I hope we get there with the resolution. So
Thank you, Derek.
I'm going to go ahead and leave. I think you're done with this issue.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to the city administrator report. Kate.
Mayor and council, just to let you know, next week, Paul will be acting interim while I'm out of the office. Over the next month and a half, we will be coming forward with some steps on the Highway 47 project, and we'll have to hold a public hearing, which is considered local consent. So in our part, as we're reducing the road, we'll have to actually hold a public hearing and follow some resolution steps there. WSB will, as our engineer, lead us through that. We are working on several work session topics. I think we've got 3 or 4 departments that have things that are moving around. We're trying to get organized. So and once we get into February, we'll start looking at some dates. And then we are looking for some housekeeping with the charter. So the next charter meeting, I'll be working with BGS on a few housekeeping items and questions, and we'll be asking the charter for some cleanup and then coming to you after that. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Sure.
I have no questions. Keep that this time.
Kevin?
As far as the charter, Kate, we were talking about extending the mayor's term. Again, that wouldn't happen until 2028 if we were to talk about that, or it would happen in 2026.
Mayor and council, so when we last spoke, the consensus was to put that on the 2028 ballot. So we would pick that conversation up probably mid-27 to start some education pieces, and then it would be ballot.
Should it take that long? What's the problem with putting it on 2026?
Mayor and council, I believe the consensus when we were talking about this was
During a
just the
presidential.
greater population that comes
True.
out to vote in
Yeah.
28.
That's right.
We would be pressing a lot of time now to try to get it to 27, because there's a lot of steps with the county we have to go through and create our questions and, so yeah, 28 is probably the most likely at this point, being that we're already in the 26 as well.
Okay. And then as far as Highway 47 discussion, would it be worthwhile to have another sign like we did for our truth and taxation? I'm not gonna even call it opening Pandora's box. It'd be alerting the public to an important issue. Is it worth doing something like that again? Again, there'll be some input stuff, but we can preface it by telling the public, it's already, the cow is way out of the barn. We got a whole herd of cows now. So, but would it be worthwhile to have a signage again?
Mayor and council, possibly. What this public hearing signifies is that the design is complete. So there are 0 changes once we get to this point. Actually, once we're to this point today, the design is set. The public hearing is really a state housekeeping process saying that we understand we're reducing the size of the road. The roundabouts don't require local consent, but the lane reduction does. So we're more than happy to share that and welcome the residents in, but I would ask if you have quite a few people in opposition to that or want to see something else on that road, you know, what is your answer going to be to those questions? Because
True.
the design will be done. So we definitely can advertise once we know, but we'll have to understand what you're going to do with that request if it comes in for change, because it's too late.
Again, maybe we could preface the announcement with the fact of what you just said. This is it. We're at a final point here and we're making you aware of such a thing. It'd also be nice to highlight the hard work that the staff and you have put into it and the timeline of monies applied for, monies gotten, and then give credit to our legislator as well, who's helped us along the way. You know, and not to blow your own horns and stuff, but it was work. It was real hard. It was hard work and good work, and it should be recognized. And then this is what we're doing. And then also let them know what our responsibilities will be, because we're not scot-free. There'll be some responsibilities on the city's part, and give them a little taste of not a taste, but a preview of what our obligations are financially as well. So everybody knows the big picture.
A rollout of the design
Yeah.
and the project moving forward.
Are there, Kate, are there any other, going forward after this one, are there any other public hearings for the 47 project?
Mayor and Council, for the pavement, I don't want to speak for the utility because that will follow its own process. But for the pavement portion, I am not aware of any public hearings. We've done all the community engagement. We've had 7 years of that already. So this is really the final step before we take the design that we've completed and hand it off to the state. But they're right, other than the public kind of presentation at Night to Unite, and, you know, I'm looking to put it at the Pioneer Days as we've talked about having a table there. So other than just that education piece, there's really no greater input other than this next step where we're saying the city is giving consent to the fact that we are reducing the road from 4 to 2 lanes. So.
And if you think some of this is troublesome or it's not worthwhile of any of the things, the bullet points I made, that's fine with me too. It's just we've come this far. It's been so many years, and we finally say, this is it. But
It'll definitely be a milestone.
So I'll throw you under the bus for 1 second there, Paul. Is there a public hearing associated with the underground side of this at some point in time then?
Yeah, so Mayor and Council, there's actually a few steps and we're just starting down that road right now. And we'll keep you abreast of it as we go along. So.
Okay, fair enough. Any other questions, Joe?
So the public hearing is required by law, I assume.
Correct.
The design is set, so nothing can change.
Correct.
And the public hearing is for the purpose of just letting the public know, like, we're getting their feedback. They say they hate the lane change, they want nothing to do with it. What are the possibilities at that point? You just stop the project completely or you move forward?
So Mayor and Council, as council,
It's just kind of a setup by the state and the order of operations. They're kind of done to where it's, it just sets, it's weird.
well, Mayor and Council, so for the last 7 years, MnDOT has listened to you to remove this lane. So this is an action where you're putting your words and what your requests are into a resolution.
Okay.
With that, you're basically telling your public that that is what you're doing.
Right,
You could have people come forward that absolutely don't agree with it.
right. Which you probably have a few, I would think.
If you were to not pass the consent,
Well, it's a waste of time and money for the
I don't
last
wanna
7
think
years and the
about
hard work that we put.
I don't, yeah, the city project, it can't die
Right,
because of the pavement. So it would probably fall back to what we continue to be told, is they will take off the pavement that's there, they will put back the pavements that's there, and there are no intersection or lane changes in this project. So that's where we're sitting right now. We either consent or we go annex for 20 to 40 years with what we have.
Well, the reason I ask is because to me, you always hear how the public will say, well, the city doesn't listen to you or whatever. It's always, negative stuff, unfortunately. And I think that public hearing at that point in time when things really can't be changed, that you up to, you're not listening to the public. So just putting that out there as far as you really don't have a say at this point. I mean, you can voice your concerns anytime to anybody if you'd like, which is always welcome. And where you're at in the process could determine whether or not anything can be done about it. But it sets us up to look awful, in my opinion, which is fine, whatever, but it's part of the job, I guess. But
Hopefully, they'll remember all of the meetings that we did invite the public to
there was a
years
lot.
ago, and there was a lot, and it's all in how you word it. Hey, we listened to you, and now this is what we came up with.
Right.
And so, but I understand what you're saying.
Listen
It's
to
a
them.
kind
There's
of-
also
Well,
parameters
we
of
did
state.
listen to them because they said they
Backwards.
wanted stoplights and we said no, so we really did listen to them.
Well, that did change,
I mean, and I hope they understand it is a cost thing. It really is. It's not that we don't want stoplights, but there is a huge cost that comes with those stoplights. But let's be honest, they told us at those meetings, that's what they wanted, and we
That's true.
went back on it. So that I expect to get a little bit of kickback from a few people, but.
What if you show them the price tag of the $2 million+ it would have cost?
But we did show them that at the beginning. We told them that it was gonna cost money. We told them that it was gonna be on us. We told them, and they still said, this is what we want. So we,
Well, there's a few people at the taxation meeting too that said, don't touch 47. We don't need anything with bad drivers all of a sudden. too.
right, yes,
Yeah, we
and we're
can't
gonna have
listen to
that too.
everybody.
I'm just
It's
saying.
fix the road, fix the road, fix the road, and then when the cost comes, some people are gonna be opposed to it.
Why'd you fix the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and we know that's gonna come. We know we're gonna have some of that, but just.
I just thought it was better to
Just to
say something than let it just roll through the
Sure.
Yep, yep.
machine.
That's all I have.
Okay, anything else for Kate? Anybody? No. Okay. On to council member reports. Sarah.
I don't really have much to report other than that there is, again, I want to reiterate, there is the Pioneer Days Planning Meeting tomorrow night, Wednesday, January 21st at 6 PM at the Legion. And then I also want to highlight the Chamber Casino Night on January 30th at the Refuge Golf. It's a very good fundraising and a fun night with the community.
Thank you, sir. Kevin?
No, Sarah's got part of my thunder there, but the same thing, the Pioneer Days needs volunteers. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. It doesn't come off smooth and good unless people help out. And everybody says, we always wanted it back, and when it wasn't here, it wasn't up to par, people complained. Well, here's your chance to be involved and be a part of it, make it something special. So other than that, I'll be going to a JLIC meeting next week with the chief, police, and that's all for now.
Kevin? Sir, or Amy?
I just had a couple of things. I had an email from a resident and she just had a couple questions. She wasn't able to come tonight, but she said that in one of the last meetings, we talked about how there hasn't been a lot. Our meetings haven't been very long. And she suggested that we get started on the budget now. Since instead of waiting till then, and wanted to know if she or anybody else from the public could help with that. So just because we've been talking about the budget so much, she was like, can you get started early? I just wanted to, maybe that could be part of our work sessions that are coming up. And then also, she wanted to know, and I got the answer to this today, but she wanted to know if the fire district meetings were open to the public. And I did respond that they were. But when I was looking at the calendars earlier today, I didn't see the fire district meeting that was today on our calendar. And I understand that it's probably on the Rum River District calendar, but I feel like our city calendar is where people would look. And I just wonder if those meetings could be put on our calendar as well. I just feel like that's where people would look for them. That's where I looked for them. And I should think I would know. And I did know, but that's where I looked for them first. And so, and she said, well, when are the meetings? And so I don't know, there's just an idea on, could those meetings be placed on our city calendar as well? And then also if the meetings are open to the public, they are, right?
Correct.
So if the mayor and Kevin are there, what if I wanted to come to the meeting? Then we would have.
Technically, you can observe as long as you're not participating in the official discussion, I believe.
Well, and Mayor and Council, we post any meetings that we suspect we may have a quorum. So you'll find Pioneer Days meetings, events, meetings such as the fire district, we'll post them with the possibility we'll have more
Okay,
than two.
so that's that's a given
So
for
you
like
can go,
all the
yep.
meetings. Okay. And
Not all the meetings, but the ones that are most obvious that we
Okay.
anticipate could have.
okay, and where is that posted?
In our lobby and
So our official posting is the bulletin board because we are not required by statute to post online. We just do that as a best practice method for transparency.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Right now, we're in between the two websites and them getting theirs updated and ours is under construction right now, so we're really not adding a lot of things to it. But it's always posted on the bulletin board whenever there's a meeting. I can add to the calendar too. I just don't know how long I can add to the calendar before we start messing with the production of our website. But yes, they're always posted on the bulletin board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought, if she couldn't find it and didn't know, and then when I was looking at my calendar today, I was like, oh, I didn't see that on there. And so I just thought that would be where people might look. And my question about posting meetings, if more than two of us are there, that would go for, the planning commission meeting, the EDA meeting, like in most of those committees, there's two of us.
Yeah.
There already. So if one of us wanted to just go observe, and I understand what you're saying, you could just go and just sit in the back and just don't participate. Which would probably be normal anyway if you're just attending a meeting.
Take notes and
Yeah.
then talk here when you're.
Right. So I just wondered, should we just say that we could have a quorum at basically all of the committee meetings, or, I just wondered what you did with that.
Yep, so Mayor and Council, again, if we anticipate that possibility, but for like the local government meeting next week, we probably won't post it because we have a history of one attending. So we do make that judgment and we post a lot more meetings than we're made aware of just because we anticipate that the possibility exists. So,
Okay.
So help them out. I would just say, to all of us, if you think you're gonna go to a meeting, reach out to Kate or Jenny and let them know. Then they can post it, whether you're there or not, it's irrelevant, but then they can post it. So,
Right. Okay. That's all I have.
okay, Joe.
I reached out to Jenny earlier too about where the board stuff was. And if you email Dave too, he'll send you the agenda, all that stuff too. He did email me that because I asked for it, so the information is there too. And I was
And
kind of curious how. Go ahead.
They do plan when their website is up on having all of that information online. It's just
Okay.
right now, they're getting booted up and
Well, that's one of the things I think I get where you're coming from too, as far as it'd be nice if we could both have it, just because most people have a hard enough time for some reason finding what they want online because it's not on Facebook. But for whatever reason, I think it's, the information will be there when they get it up, but given it's a separate entity, I don't know if it's because it's not a taxing district or what, where they're not required. I just assumed, given it's a government entity like the school board or whatever, it would have to be posted too. That's where I was like, okay, where do I find that?
well, it is posted. It's just the
Right.
official is the bulletin board and the online is not a statutory requirement.
Okay. So it is posted, but not on.
Yes, yep.
But if you told me earlier.
And we will
email
tie
was
it in.
posted.
We can link their website to our calendar once their website is up and running. I can do a cross link between our calendar. So then you can click to get to their agenda and stuff, but our websites are going to be completely separate now.
Yeah, well, and I just figured people would look, so however it's on there, if eventually, maybe not right now, but, I just feel like people will look at our calendar before they will go there. And if they don't see it, they don't see anything, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, there's no meetings, and so, but meetings are going on and, they wanted to stay, involved with that. So just somewhere, sometime. make it obvious where they can find information.
We just discussed this too. I can give you a quick update on that. We're hoping that the website, so it's in process. We're hoping end of February, early March, we'll be launching the Plum River District website. So
Oh, okay.
it's close, but it's a little way away.
As well as a YouTube tab and on there as well, so you could it'll actually be broadcast per se. or-
That's still in the working, correct. But right now, for at minimum, it would be the recording of the meeting out
Right.
there. Hopefully, we're talking about doing it just like we do city council meetings. That's being worked on as well, so. Where was I at? Go ahead, Joe.
I would just thank staff too for all the work you guys are dealing with that as well. And I spent about an hour and a half with Darcy looking at the CIP, looking at the budget, looking at places where you can possibly save. And I gotta be honest, I don't see a lot. There's some things that I'm sure we can talk about in work sessions, and I'm sure we'll get there, but just to put it out there that I did take that time, so the public is aware that it's being looked into. But what we come up with is questionable because, again, it's city level is a lot different than state level. State level is very interesting right now. I won't get too much into that.
You're being kind, but yeah.
Yeah. But you know, that's where I think a lot of my criticisms go to federal and state with waste and fraud, whereas being involved with the city level, you know, people talk about the Doge with the federal level and all that, and I think that's not a bad thing to look into. What are we doing? Do we have subscriptions that aren't being used? All that kind of stuff. At the city level, it's more direct towards where your money's going. We don't subsidize things here like state level and federal level. So when you're looking at the taxes and stuff, that's directly going to, you know, to me, it's all services. I understand we might have a little disagreement on some of that stuff, but at the same time, it's applied directly to where it's easy to find. You can see that there's not a lot of waste there, so I just wanted to put that out there, but I am looking at. That's all I have.
It's true. Forget where I left off. Who did I catch everybody? Did I-
Just yourself, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just
Thanks,
you.
sorry. So we did, yeah, Kevin and I just had the Rum River Board meeting right here, and the really big updates is the one I just told you with the website. Working through a personnel issue that you're aware of, and that's in the works. Anoka County Fire Protection Council, we meet this Thursday. I'll be going to that, and then encourage anybody, the LGO meeting, Kate referenced the Anoka County Local Government Officials meeting is next Wednesday, the 29th. And the biggest item on there, kind of an interest is, I don't know how many of you are aware of it, the Minnesota DNR changed the rifle shotgun zoning and stuff, so that's gonna be one issue discussed at length at that meeting, so amongst other things. But other than that, that's all I've got. So anybody else, anything? See none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Mulebauer, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Faunas, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hold the same sign. Meeting is adjourned at 6:37 PM.